Sanjana, hi. Hearty congratulations. I think this is a great result, 37th rank. And at least for me, it's a double bonanza because my student and also my wife has got the rank. So extremely happy, proud, and delighted. So how do you feel? How are you feeling? I'm sure you would have loved to have you here to personally celebrate the moment. But since you are in IRS training now, I understand that it will not be possible for you to be physically present with us at this moment. So how are you feeling about the result? It must have been a very stressful ride all through, but how do you now feel this moment?
Hi, Harsha. Thanks a lot. It feels really good. In fact, it's a surprise. It's a shock. Emotions are like I cannot balance them. They're just like running a lot. So I'm really happy. And yes, I'm happy for you as well because you were the pillar of my strength all through the preparation. So yeah, we got to the goal. So that it's a really big moment for me and for me.
Yeah, very good. So I know it's a long journey. Last year you got 207 rank, and now it is 37th rank. So I think the number 7 has something to do with you.
Hopefully, yes.
So now last year you got Indian Revenue Service IRS. Right now you are Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax and the training. So how do you explain your success? I mean, last year you almost reached the finish line, but fell. I mean, assuming the IAS is the finish line, you just fell short of service. But the exam is very ruthless in the sense that it doesn't have any regard for your past success. Everybody has to start over. So even if you go to the 99 steps and fail to get to the 100, you must start from 0 and 1 again. So you had to come back to prelims again, that too with a very short span. I think last year you barely had 17 or 18 days from the result to the next prelims, and you got at it again. And so how would you explain your success? What would you attribute to this result?
I think we know that persistence is what takes us forward in this game of civil services. So persistence, determination, keeping motivated are all through which I think I inculcated in myself through the years. But I think getting ranked last year really had a very positive effect on my preparation because it was a validation that I'm moving in the right direction. It's like in a race of say 100 meters, I am somewhere at 80 meters. That's like more than half. I have come more than halfway. So it felt really good. And it was very motivating that if I continue the preparation with same seriousness, enthusiasm, someday I'll, go till the finish line. So that's what I've been.
That is true. I think in this exam, it's more a test of your commitment, persistence, and ability to take failure, because I'm sure you have faced failure as well before you have had the sweet taste of success. So I think in this exam, handling failure is also a very important trait, handling failure and getting back at it. So more than intelligence, I think it's hard work, committed hard work is what ultimately matters. Now, we've done a lot of work together the last few years. So how was the mentorship? How did the support that, how did the strategizing, the mentorship that I had to offer, how did that play a role in your result and success?
I think the first part of the question and the last part are connected. So the first part was that I was having issues with different levels of the exam. And the last question was,
I think,
yes.
Yeah, if I may, and I think you are a classic example of somebody whose example of steady wins the race. So yeah, at every stage you took time, and you took time to master at every stage. You were not eager to get into the list. So first time you had problem with prelims, so you gave a lot of time to prelims and cleared prelims. Next, you went till mains but didn't get interview. Then you worked on in mains, and then you went till interview but again missed service. So you had to work on interview again. So I think you're in a classic example of what I would call as Rahul Dravid style of batting, back foot batting. So you take your time, you build your strength, and you wait for your ball to come before taking a shot at it. So at every stage, how did the work that we did together, how did the support or the mentorship help you?
Yeah, I would like to add one thing that whatever you just said, I made a chart out of it. Like, because I'm an engineer, I made a X and Y axis and drew from where I started and where I came. So it was a projectile. First was on X axis itself because I didn't get through prelims. Next it came up because I got through, then no means, then to interview, then to rank 207. So I extended with dotted line saying sometime I'll be IAS. So I used to keep this diagram on my board, on my wall.
Yeah, I know the diagram, yes.
Sometime I'll share it. So I used to, look at how positive it can be going forward. So I took that positivity and with me and then started the prep. So coming to the question, yes, prelims was initially a very tough task. So I followed your strategy. You have made a detailed video on that too. So if you can just share that to the viewers as well, I think it will be really helpful. So cracking prelims happened because I could crack your technique, or I borrowed your technique and cracked prelims is what I would say. So
I think you were very consistent in prelims. You consistently cleared prelims with a very high score.
That's right. So 125 plus has always been my score. So that's relatively, now it's like, even if I have to write prelims again within a span of let's say 20 days on, let's have a optimistic estimate, I can do it even then. So that's how I prepared or tuned myself to that. So it's all about getting the technique right. So your technique here was to do the previous year question papers multiple times, the elimination strategy basically. So we reverse engineered. It's like we read the UPSC mind. I never gave any test series for prelims, so I want this point to be noted.
Yes, that is true.
Because people, when they start taking prelims test series, it's really stressful, and those who are new into preparation are gullible. So they have, in many coaching institutes take them for a ride. So I think the best strategy is to just take previous year question papers booklet, do them multiple times to understand how to eliminate and master the strategy. And on the exam day, I would answer something like not less than 90 questions. So that's how I beat it prelims. So after the first time, I consistently kept clearing prelims with a very decent margin. And then coming to mains, yes, I was my first mains. I couldn't clear my first mains, so that was again an issue. So then what we did was first we started to bifurcate different questions in each paper into their subtopics. We did the previous questions of every GS paper, optional essay paper as well. And here we followed your basic idea or view that it's first the optional that counts, then the essay ethics, and then come the rest of the GS papers. And then we saw various topper scripts which are available online. We marked the keywords, we made many diagrams. So what changed through the year?
I think I have become an expert on analyzing topper scripts thanks to working with you and trying to mentor you.
Yeah, that's right. So what changed through the years was when it comes to mains, not just what I write, but in addition to what I write, how I write. So we worked a lot on presentation, to capture whatever time the examiner has, so that once we have his attention, we can get more marks. So that's what we made sure that our answer is visible. It's not just legible, it's visible. So that is the change that we did primarily. And I think there's the biggest strength from what we see from previous year to this year's rank. And then socio, I've been really comfortable with socio. Last year, my score was good.
I think last year you were one of the toppers in sociology, the second highest score in sociology across the country.
Yes, that's right. I got 290. So that's a very good score. I think I've been performing well in socio. In socio, what we did was, we again, based on the previous year papers, we made a list of the different questions, classified them into topics, and we then went through how it should be made presentable. Like, for example, when there's a question from thinkers, writing their names specifically, giving many other neo thinkers, adding their perspectives, and it was a very detailed preparation. So my preparation for this year was not just for this year, right? So it came through, and all that, it's like, got grinded, and
It
it's
all
now.
added up.
Yes, that's right. It all added up, and this is a
That's
final.
very important. That's very important, because you should take a long-term view to the exam. You can't expect that I'll work now and all of this must immediately give me a result this year. What you do over the years eventually pays off in one attempt, and that's when you end up getting a very good rank.
Yeah, it's really good if you can do it in first attempt. It's not like you can't do, but you should also have it in the back of your mind that if you are not able to do it this attempt, then your preparation of this attempt should be made used by you in the next attempt. If you are starting today at 2, next attempt you should be sure that you will start at 6 or 5, not less than that. So that's how it adds. That's how it helps you. And and then coming to essay paper, I think this year essay.
This year essay paper was very tough. Many students that we have mentored here along with you have also felt that the essay paper was a tough nut to crack this year, because the paper was more philosophical in nature, in contrast to other years where you have some general topics which many are familiar with. But this essay paper was one of the toughest essay papers we've had in years. So how did you manage essay?
Yes, that's true. Essay paper was unconventional. Both the essay sections had philosophical essays. But what I made sure was, again, here in essay paper also, I wanted my essay to be more visible. It should be apart, like from what the rest are writing. So I chose the topic which I was really comfortable with, but I made sure that it got to, it was very philosophical as well, just like the question. I added more dimensions, more ethical thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre, or now at this moment I'm not able to, remember names of many ethical thinkers, but in general,
I remember you saying that the work we did the Sunday, 1 week, just 1 week before the essay paper finally paid off.
That's right. It was just the previous week that we really sat down and, thought of what all thinkers can we write, what all dimensions can we bring in. If both essays are philosophical, then you should have sufficient content, to write different thinkers, different viewpoints for both philosophical, because you cannot go with just a set of 10 examples and put both of them in both the essays. That will not work. So you need to have more viewpoints, more narrative.
How did you get hold over these thinkers and examples? How did that you gain that?
I just borrowed it from you. You should be the one telling what we did. But then we referred to many. I think you are very good with research. So you had a lot of books. You read them. You like, for example, Sapiens. You did a very detailed video on the book Sapiens. So like that, you made detailed notes of different thinkers where you can quote what is their main key idea that you can use in different essays, like different examples. For example, in the field of science, we read like the evolution of science itself, or the evolution of technology, from the invention of bulb or a wheel, steam engine, to John Gutenberg printing press. We quoted all these. Like these are very important for the entire human mankind because they added a lot of value. So we made sure that we write something like this in the paper, that it adds a lot of value to depth. It brings a lot of depth to the essay. So that's what the examiner is looking forward.
Good. I think there's a very important message there for all the students who are aspiring to get in. That is, trust a good mentor's research and don't do the research yourself. That's the message I think you're trying to send.
Yes, that's important to understand, because I just sat for a Sunday with you. Like it was something like 5 to 6 hours. And if we can, if I can get a good score in essay with just your research, then that's something I'm really benefiting. You see the cost benefit analysis. After all, what really matters is the score. So if there is a mentor who can give you really good perspective on how to do essays, he has done his own research, that definitely reduces the burden and increases your chance of getting into the list.
I'm glad my research paid off in your result. Very good, very good. And finally, interview. How did you go about interview? So we did a lot of work on interview as well. This year, I think you just gave one mock. That's it, and you barely had any time because I think you joined in the academy and you were just settling in the IRS academy before you had to again rush to Delhi, and you had to deal with your IRS training while preparing. So you didn't have the luxury of time that you had last time.
That's right.
So how did the interview experience change this time?
Yeah, this time I barely had 21 days for the interview. So my basic funda was, this is the third time I'm appearing for the interview. So we thought that we will not do more, we will do less, and by that we'll get more. So because doing more is not taking us anywhere. So what do we do when we want more, but we have to do less? We sat through, we saw various transcripts of various year toppers. That is again your research that you gave it. Like, yeah, I got it like Maggi noodles, like fast food, just cooked. So we went through various topper scripts. We saw how they are able to approach the question. It's not the answer that matters, but how at that moment they're able to think and how they are able to present it. So that's, I think we went through the transcript again and again, understood what is a good conversation style, how can I put my views forward, so and be practical at the same time. Being practical in the interview is really important.
Very good. True.
And also we talked to many seniors who were in the service, whether it's IRS or other services. So what the board looks. So it was very holistic.
I think your interview was mostly based on IRS, your work, and some of your hobbies, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Very good. So finally, I think we'll make one more detailed strategy. I know I don't have much time now. So we'll make another detailed strategy for the benefit of the aspirant community. But what would be your final message before we close this video and before you go ahead and celebrate the success?
I think I remember a quote of Swami Vivekananda, which I think is very relevant to the entire process that we are seeing together. He says initially I didn't understand it. It's very peculiar. He says that a person who plays football is nearer to heaven than a person who reads Gita. This is very counterintuitive. So I didn't understand it. I had to make sense of it. So the message here is, when you are playing football, you are involved in football. So when you are reading Gita, you may not be involved in reading Gita. You may be thinking something. The mind might be somewhere, but you're just reading for the heck of it. So I think if you really want to crack civil services, be involved in the preparation. Just don't do preparation for the sake of preparation. Be truthful to yourself and to the people who trust you. And I think it will take you miles. That's it.
Play football, but with a good coach.
That's right. Yeah, you got it. There's the catch.
Very good. Yeah, very good, splendid result. And thank you for giving this time and taking this time off your hectic training to make this video. We'll make another video with your detailed strategy with time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sanjana. We'll close this for now.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Have a good day.
You too.